say to you now.
My people, here is a floodlight. Use it so you can see secret obstacles that are affecting your lives. With all my spiritual strength and understanding, I urge you to open your hearts to what may be one of the most important spiritual information given to you in your time. This revelation provides you with an opportunity and a choice to be free from reverse slave chains and patterns. I would like you to know that reverse slave chains curses are real and affecting Africans and other groups of people all over the world. This is not a mere statement or a theory made up by me for the purpose of conforming or establishing my true revelation about Africa. But these are psychological and spiritual facts that are affecting you. Let me also say this. Our world is proven to be spiritual and mortal, with immutable laws. When these laws are violated, they will cause catastrophic consequences for violators and their generation to come. We have seen its effects on kings, queens, presidents, prime ministers, clergymen, and other leaders in our time. These facts have been accepted by the best religious thought as well as the best scientific thought. There is nothing secret about the state of Africa. In fact, they are so plain that everyone can see and understand it. Africans' actions are loud. Some problems in our lives are spiritual violations. Part of this spiritual war being waged against Africa and Africans is as a result of the curse laid by the ill-treated slaves 421 years ago. I mean, my ancestors. This is a conflict of epic proportion and of such importance that not a single black person alive on this planet should ignore. Not even other groups. It is cheap to earn ignorance, but too expensive to maintain. All life forms function through obedience, but sadly, some humans choose disobedience. From 1619 to date is 421 years since the brutality took place in Africa, which has caused spiritual laws in their obedience to answer to my ancestors' cries and allow curses that spat by my ancestors to activate on Africans and other groups outside of the African continent. No matter what you have been exposed to, you want to know the truth, right? So please empty yourself of previous ideas and look at the evidence I present here. It might change your way of thinking and change Africa. Corruption is a very small part of Africa's problem. No nation on our planet operates without corruption. The whole world is corrupt. Corruption is not a stranger to the human mind. It has been there from the beginning and can never stop Africa's development, as it did not stop developed countries from developing. My people, I believe when evil men gather to do their evil deeds, good men must plan to do their good works. Evil men destroy all communities and countries. Good men bring love, and togetherness to all nations. People of our world, you will notice that the extreme optimists and the extreme pessimists worldwide have at least one thing in common. They both agree that we must sit down and do something in the area of development for Africa and help to stop the African people from running away from Africa. As we all know, an overcrowded developed country can seriously attract human catastrophe. I believe nature gives us enough space to spread out. That is why we are born in different geographical locations on the planet. Globally, the extreme optimists say do nothing for Africa because development is inevitable. The extreme pessimists also say do nothing because development is impossible, since corruption, ethnic, and religious dichotomy are present in their character. But there is a third position. It is what I would like to call the realistic position. It can be done. I mean, development for Africa will be done. Let us look at Africa's problems. The problems facing Africa is inherited and unfortunately are now placed on the head of their leaders of today, who have nothing to do with the cause but are suffering from the effect. The forefathers of Africa were the ones who started these problems with the help of religious sects to put their own people into slavery in a state worse than wild captured animals for a few gifts, mainly alcohol, myrrh, walking sticks, and umbrella. How foolish! How foolish! The best were taken away and still is today. This is not about demonology. This is about action and reaction, cause and effect. Here is a brief report from my research about the brutality inflicted on my ancestors of 1619 Atlantic slave trade. Some of these cruelty took place in what is called the evil jungle, forts, and point of no return. Our people were used on their knees to joyride slave owners' kids on their backs as ponies for their entertainment. Our slave men were made eunuchs to avoid sexual desires and to become better workers. Our women were not only used for agriculture productions and other chores, but were also used for cross-breeding. My ancestors were branded with red-hot iron as soon as they were in the hands of their masters for the purpose of identification. Along with that, their legs were chained to prevent them from running away, and some who tried hard to escape had their toes cut off in the presence of others to build fear among them. On the slave ships, bad conditions resulted in the spread of fatal diseases. Other fatalities were suicides by jumping overboard and self-starvation. The slave traders would try to fit anywhere from 350 to 600 slaves on one small ship, just like today on the small boats on the Mediterranean Sea. My ancestors had their hands chained to their necks to prevent them from grabbing anything or assisting others who were in trouble on their journey to foot. Their mouths were locked with small padlocks on the sugar plantation to prevent them from eating the sugar canes when they were tired and thirsty. Today, Africans cannot scrape because of the reverse spiritual padlock on their mouths. This was done on the slave by inserting a hole on the top and bottom lip, cause and effect. In that era of slavery, women were taken by force to sex camps to slow down slave importation by mating them with stronger and bigger breed of slaves, or whatever these slave masters choose to reproduce that would benefit them. These slave masters crossbreed themselves, making other breeds that looked close to themselves, that their felt would be more loyal in terms of supervising black slaves, even though they still saw these new breeds as slaves. Until this day, other groups see those breeds as bastards, regardless of their high offices. God bless the United States of America that sees all human as one people. Slaves were better to work with than mules or oxen. Slaves are humans with intelligence and did wonders in that era. Some slave tongues were removed if they spoke in their native tongue. The evil-minded masters used this action to force my forebears to speak their language. Today, most Africans are forcing themselves to speak slave masters' language. Is it a curse or a blessing? As a result of this action, most Africans are leaving Africa illegally, dying thoughtlessly and untimely in the Mediterranean Sea, looking for greener pastures. Good people of our world, you must help stop this madness of untimely deaths among the people in Africa. Save Africans, save Africa, and save our world. Africans still believe to be a slave is good and want to be enslaved again. Some Africans in Africa told me they wish their colonial masters could return and rule them again. This mentality is dangerous for the development of Africa and the crowded developed countries. Most Africans, either rich or poor, desire to go abroad, not only to visit, but to move their children to slave lands because of the curse. Their desire to leave their homelands to go overseas as voluntary slaves regardless of the consequences, and sadly, some envy those that were born there from slave ancestral background, forgetting that we bled, worked, and struggled for what we have. The hatred never stopped. We are now seen as black African Americans. We are looked upon as a foreign tribe. I would like Africans to know that your runaways are pulled by reversed slave chain curses that were placed on you through pain and anger, words that were pronounced at the time of my ancestors' suffering. Today it's not a secret. Most of their leaders in the hierarchy are accused of slavery of some form, molestation, sexual misconduct that cause an effect on both sex by leading them into lesbianism and homosexuality by tricks and force. Is this not a curse? If this is not a curse, then what is? We can see religious people all over the world suffering from lack, diseases, shame, dysfunctional families and broken homes. Sad to say, the list goes on. 90% of our global population are now dysfunctional in some way or the other. The 10% might even commit verbal abuse unknowingly and call it discipline. Today, the contributors and givers of the Bible realize that they need atonement and now threaten to remove the Bible that for centuries we all know to be the Word of God. What has the Bible got to do with it? The Word, from my little understanding, God is unchanging, and so is His Word. Africans are now cursed through their ignorance, which is no excuse for the operations of the laws. Modern Africans are now voluntarily trapped by the curses of their foreparents' wickedness and are now used for further superpowers development through technology until artificial intelligence are fully ready to take the place of human slaves. Africans are accepted and are programmed in universities around the world as substitute artificial human intelligent operators until fully replaced by these artificial intelligence robots. After this period, Africans will be used for medical lab and space research, like sending the monkey first to the moon. Africans are being accused of not being a contributor to the world economies and invention, which is a blatant lie. What about our natural resources and our scientific discoveries that have been exploited? These names represent but a small fraction of the hundreds of well-known blacks who have made their contribution to the world's economy. The world should take a look at these great black inventors. Dr. Thomas Mensa, a black man with 3 others, invented a laser fiber active system in the 1980s. This changed our way of life. Without these 4 guys, there would have been no internet. Without these inventions, you could not have been able to send a tweet. There would have been no Facebook, Instagram, Google, etc. Before this invention, everything was using copper, which was unable to accomplish what they had accomplished. In Dr. Menza's own work, I quote, "Now in your pocket, you have a computer that is more powerful than the computer that designed the Apollo rocket." End of quote. We blacks can easily say we are a major contributor to modern technology. Let us look at these 3 black women who helped to build the space station program at NASA. You probably never heard their names before. Anyhow, they are Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. These human computers did the work by hand that put man into orbit. Is this not a contribution? Another 6 black women scientists the world should know that have made big difference in our world. Alicia Augusta was born in 1892 when black women had little or no opportunities globally, but our study of chemistry led her to develop a treatment for leprosy. Even though our discovery was used throughout the decade, she didn't get any credit for it. during our lifetime. What a shame. There is Mary Maynard Daly. In 1947, she became the first black woman to receive a doctorate in chemistry. Her work uncovered the link between cholesterol and clogged arteries, changing the way doctors treat heart disease and the way people learn to eat and have longer lives. Patricia Beck, 1942, became the first black woman to receive a medical patent. In 1988, she developed a laser that changed the treatment of cataract, the leading cause of blindness. Her technology allowed her to restore the sight of her patients who had been blind for more than 30 years. Another great mind, Valerie Thomas, 1943, didn't have much encouragement to pursue her interest in science as a girl. Her father refused to help her with electronics projects, and her all-girls school didn't encourage science and math classes. But she still went on to work at NASA and led the development of Landsat, the first satellite to send images from space. Like your foe, you have Shirley Ann Jackson, another black woman the world should happily thank. Her work in theoretical physics and telecommunication paved the way for the development of all kinds of technology we use today, like caller ID, call waiting, and fiber optic cables. It is said that Mary Jemison started her career as a doctor before going on to become the first black female astronaut. She orbited the Earth 126 times during her space flight, then left NASA to lead the 199-year Starship project, which hopes to allow human travel beyond our solar system in the next 100 years. These black women had to struggle with sexism and racism to pursue their careers in science. And while things have improved, it is said black women still make up less than 10% of the world force in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs. If these women hadn't managed to defy expectations and to do their work, we would have missed out on discoveries that have changed the way we live, with black women still facing barriers today. These are only some of the modern contributions that black made that most people in our world know not of. Plus, so many more the world is benefiting from. I am sure if black people are given a fair playing field, we will soon discover how to live forever in our mortal bodies on this planet. Our Creator is eternal energy and cannot be destroyed. What is created from eternal is eternal. There will be no place for cults, greediness, and wars. We humans are struggling to live together because of ignorance and killing of great minds. The true definition of slave means servant or helping hands. When working for governments, one is elevated to civil or public servant by your own abilities and not chance. Humans should learn to serve and not to be served. We should respect service at all levels. Here are some additional facts that are affecting the developed countries. Most slave masters' countries suffer terribly from the effects of their actions of enslavement of people. We must fix Africa. We have the ability to do so. Some runaways are locked up in other countries' jails. Some, their livers kidneys and body fats are extracted out of their bodies to increase the lifespan of rich, sick people all over the world. We must do something before something more catastrophic happens to us and others on this planet. And we must always remember, we blacks are the father, mother of humanity. And it's our responsibility to be good towards each other and other groups of people. We all, as humans, need each other. That's the way the universe is designed to be. If man tries to change the operations, I can assure us humans that we are looking for a world of trouble that can only be fixed with love. Why wait? Let us do it now. Make your country your home, develop insight and sagacity, increased independence, the ability and disposition to be helpful in undeveloped countries. Make your country your home helps to destroy distrust, depression, fear, melancholia, and every form of lack, limitation, and weaknesses, including pain, disease, and conflicts. Make your country your home helps to awaken buried talents, supplies initiative, force, energy, and vitality. It awakens an appreciation of the beauty in art, literature, and science. It teaches patriotism and love for one another and country. With Make Your Country Your Home program, customs, creeds, and cruelty are passing. Vision, faith, services are taking their place. Make Your Country Your Home will help to melt off the fetters of tradition from humanity. And as the doors of materialism is being consumed, thought is being liberated, and truth is rising full orbit before an astonished multitude. Let us join force and break the curses that are holding third world countries back. As we proceed with our programs, let us think of these things, address and fix them quickly as possible. I believe a dead Nigeria is a dead Africa, and a dead Africa is an imbalanced world. In conclusion, Make Your Country Your Home can never be wrong for any country. Call on us and we will come in and show the way. Thank you for your attention.